Salutations. In this video we're going to be focusing on the factorizing method of quadratic trinomials. Okay, with quadratic trinomials there are two rules within this method. Let's look at this example. The rule applies is that if no number in front of the letter squared is that two numbers when multiplied will give us 2, and focusing on those two numbers will add or subtract to give us 3x. The way how we do this is we put this into two brackets, and there's another rule as well, focusing on the signs, which I will mention later. So let's put x into one bracket, and since there are two pluses, we're going to put a plus within each bracket. Think of two numbers that when multiplied give us 2. Well, the number 2 and 1, they give us 2. And do 2 and 1, when added or subtracted together, do they give us 3? Yes, it does. 2 plus 1 is equal to 3. So let me put 2 here and 1 here. It doesn't matter which order they're in. Now to check if this is right, we simply take these two numbers and multiply. So plus 2x multiplied by x by 1. So that's plus x. So this equals to plus 3x. Which is our middle number. So then we know that this is right. Well, I could be wrong though. So let's check if this is right. X plus 2 multiplied by x plus 1. So I'm going to take x separated from the first bracket and multiply it by the second bracket. X plus 1, and then I'm going to take 2 plus 2 and multiply it by this bracket, x plus 1. So then x multiplied by x is x squared, and x multiplied by 1 is plus x. And then 2 multiplied by x is plus 2x, and 2 multiplied by 1 is plus 2. So then x squared plus 3x plus 2. Look at that. Then we know that we are correct. Let's do another practice question. If I were to ask you to x squared minus 4x minus 5, what would you do? Well, firstly, is there a number in front of the x squared? No, there is not. So the rule is two numbers when multiplied will have to give us 5, and when added or subtracted, they give us 4. Okay? Minus 4. So that could be 5 multiplied by 1. And 5 take 1 is 4. And I mentioned earlier, signs do matter. So let's just note this down. So when there are two plus signs in a quadratic trinomial, so a plus and a plus, what's going to be in your answer is going to be 2 pluses as well. But if there are 2 minuses, if there is a minus and a minus, well, then there's going to be a plus and a minus. There's not a strict order of if the x is here or if the minus is there or vice versa, but we know that there will be an x and a minus in our answer. Plus and a minus, okay? So now this is where we really need to think. 5, we know that 5 take 1 is equal to 4x, but it has to be a minus 4x. So our 5 needs to be a minus, okay? So how are we going to do that? Well, think about it. If I were to put 5 here and the 1 here, x multiplied by minus 5 is minus 5x, and 1 multiplied by x is 1x. So minus 5x plus 1x is minus 4x. So sometimes you have to really visualize it to try and figure it out. So 5 and 1, let's check. 1 multiplied by x is plus x. And x multiplied by minus 5 is minus 5x. So then our result is minus 4x, which is the middle. So then we know that we are right. Now let's verify this. Just to check if we are right. So x plus 1 and x minus 5. So x multiplied by x minus 5, and then plus 1 multiplied by x minus 5. So x multiplied by x is x squared, x multiplied by minus 5 is minus 5x, and 1 multiplied by x is plus x, and 1 multiplied by minus 5 is minus 5. So then x squared minus 5x plus x is minus 4x, and then minus 5. So then we know that we are correct. Let's do another one. So if you're given q squared minus 7q plus 10. Okay, there's no number in front of the letter, so we're using the same rule. What are two numbers multiplied that give us 10, and when added and subtracted give us 7? Well, let's look. We have two possible outcomes, 10 multiplied by 1 or 5 multiplied by 2. We have a minus in the middle and a plus at the end. So, what are we going to do for signs? Well, if there's a minus in the middle and then a plus, what's going to be inside the brackets is both minuses. It's quite confusing, I know. It's both minuses. So now we have two possible outcomes. Now we have to be realistic. Do 10 and 1 added or subtracted give us minus 7? No, it doesn't. Does 5 and 2 added or subtracted give us minus 7? Possibly, yes. So if I were to put 5 here and a 2 here, let's see if it works. Minus 5 multiplied by q is minus 5q. And q multiplied by minus 2 is minus 2q. So then our answer is minus 7q, which is what's in the middle. So we know we're right. Except I could be wrong. So let's verify. Q minus 5 and then q minus 2. So q multiplied by q minus 2 and minus 5 multiplied by q minus 2. So q multiplied by q is q squared, q multiplied by minus 2 is minus 2q, and minus 5 multiplied by q is minus 5q, and minus 5 multiplied by minus 2 is minus 10. Squared minus 2q minus 5q is minus 7q, and then minus 10. So then we know we are right. Let's try the last question, okay? X squared plus 14x plus 45. So there's no number in front of the letter squared. So what two multiples give us 45 and when added or subtracted give us 14? Well, 45 has quite a lot of factors. We have 45 multiplied by 1. We have, let's say, 15 multiplied by 3. And we have another one, which is 5 multiplied by 9. Which one do we use? Well, x and x, and since they are both pluses, there are going to be two pluses in the brackets too. The jump from 45 all the way down to 14 is quite drastic. It couldn't be 45 or 1. And realistically saying, it couldn't be 15 or 3, because that change would be way too drastic. What could be possibly the answer is 5 multiplied by 9, so let's try that. I'll put it at random, 5 and 9. So 5 multiplied by x is plus 5x, and 5 multiplied by 9 is plus 9x plus 14x. But we have to, once again, verify just to check. You don't have to do this with every single one. I just want to see if I'm right. So x plus 5 and x plus 9. So then x multiplied by x plus 9, and then plus 5 multiplied by x plus 9. So then x multiplied by x is x squared, and x multiplied by 9 is plus 9x. So then 5 multiplied by x is plus 5x, and then 5 multiplied by 9 is plus 45. So then x squared, 9x plus 5x is plus 14x, and then plus 45. We know we are then correct.
Eventually.
Then the question comes, what is the second rule with quadratic trinomials? What do we do if there is a number in front of the letter squared? The rule what applies for the first rule is absolutely obliterated. Does not matter anymore. That the two numbers that multiply to give us 2 only, and that's it. And the rest is kind of you figuring it out yourself. Well, how fun. So 2x and a plus here. So what are the multiples of 2? Well, 2 multiplied by 1. So they can go anywhere. But we cannot be we have to be strategic about this, okay? So let's think. Our goal here is to get 5x, right? Using the same method, multiplying here, multiplying there. Okay, let's hypothetically say I put 2 here and I put 1 there. 2 multiplied by x is 2x, yes? And 2 multiplied by 1 is 2x as well, but that gives us 4x. That isn't our goal here. We want plus 5x. So let's switch it around. Because I can immediately see 2x multiplied by 2 is 4x, and you're left with 1 here, so that's another x. So 4x plus x gives us 5x. So let's do so. Here we add 2, and here we add 1. Let's see if we're right. So here, that is plus x, and here is plus 4x. So then we're given plus 5x, which is our goal. So let's verify. So 2x plus 1, and then x plus 2. Let's see. So 2x multiplied by x plus 2, and then plus 1 multiplied by x plus 2. So then 2x multiplied by x is 2x squared, and 2x multiplied by 2 is plus 4x, and then 1 multiplied by x is plus x, and 1 multiplied by 2 is plus 2. So then 2x squared plus 4x plus x is plus 5x, and then plus 2. So then we know we are correct. Let's do another question. 2x squared minus 3x plus 1. All right, there is a number in front of the letter squared, so we know we're using the second rule. What are two numbers multiplied give us 1? Well, 1. So 1 multiplied by 1. Now, there is a minus in the middle. So what are we going to do? A plus and a plus will give us a plus and a plus in the brackets. A minus and a minus, that will give us a plus and a minus. And a minus in the middle and a plus will give us a minus and a minus. But what about a plus and a minus? Right? A plus and a minus will give us a plus or a minus. Or vice versa. So 2x minus and then x minus. Okay, so we're going to add one here and 1 here. You can't go wrong because they're both the same. So minus x, and then here is, and then here is minus 2x. So then we're given minus 3x. And let's verify. So 2x minus 1 and x minus 1. So then 2x multiplied by x take 1, and then minus 1 multiplied by x take 1. So 2x multiplied by x is 2x squared, and 2x multiplied by minus 1 is minus 2x. So then minus 1 multiplied by x is minus x, and minus 1 multiplied by minus 1 is plus 1. So then 2x squared minus 2x minus x is minus 3x, and then plus 1. So then we know we are right. 5a squared plus 9a plus 4. What would you do? So there is a number in front of the letter, so we know that this is the second rule. What two numbers that multiplied give us 4? Well, there's two chances. 2 multiplied by 2 and 4 multiplied by 1. Which one do we use? Well, 5a. There's 2 pluses, so the rule is that there are also 2 pluses within the 2 brackets. Plus, right. So I would say that 4 would probably be the best because 2, really, you're going to get 10 because the 5 multiplied by 2, and then you're going to get another 2, which would be 12 in total. And that's nowhere near our goal. So I would go for the 4 times 1. So where would I put the 4 and where would I put the 1? I'm just going to put the 4 here, put the 1 here. Now, 4 multiplied by a is plus 4a. And 5 multiplied by 1 is plus 5a. Well, would you look at that? Plus 9a. We got it. Now let's verify once again. 5a plus 4, and then a plus 1. 5a, and then a plus 1, and then plus 4, a plus 1. 5a multiplied by a is 5a squared. 5a multiplied by 1 is plus 5a. And then 4 multiplied by a is plus 4a. And then 4 multiplied by 1 is plus 4. So then 5a squared plus 5a plus 4a is plus 9a plus 4. So then we know we are right. Let's try a second last one. If I were to ask you the question, 3x squared minus x minus 10. So there's a number in front of the letter squared. So we know the second rule is going to apply here. And the question is, what two numbers, when multiplied, will give us 10? Well, there's two possibilities. 5 times 2 and 10 times 1. There's going to be a plus and a minus, or a minus and a plus, doesn't matter. 3x, and I'm just going to put minus here, x, and a plus here. Okay, hypothetically saying once again, what are we going to choose? Well, let's look at this way. Our goal here is minus x. Are we going to get that by 10 and a 1? Well, if you were to put 10 here, that'd be minus 10. Minus 10. And then if you put 1 here, that'd be 3. That isn't going to equal to minus x, is it? So our only option here is 5 and 2. Question is, where do we put it? So I could put the 5 here and I'll put the 2 there. So here is minus 5 and an x. So that's minus 5x. And then here, 3x plus 2. Okay, so we're into a bit of a jiffy. This gives us plus x, but our goal here is minus x. So what are we going to do? Well, the problem that I see here is that the signs. If I were to switch these signs, right, then I feel like that you could get minus x. So let's do that. So this was wrong, okay, and that's completely fine. So I'll just cross that out. And then I'll redo it. So 3x, and I'll try a plus 5, keeping the numbers there. I'm just switching the signs. And then an x minus 2. Okay, sometimes quadratic trinomials can mess with you. But so 5 multiplied by x is plus 5x. And then here, 3x multiplied by minus 2 is minus 6x. So then your answer is minus x. So we know that this is our answer. So now let's use this to verify. Not this. So 3x plus 5, and then x take 2. All right, 3x multiplied by x take 2, and then plus 5 multiplied by x take 2. 3x multiplied by x is 3x squared. 3x multiplied by minus 2 is minus 6x. And then minus, so then plus 5 multiplied by minus 2 is minus 10. So then 3x squared minus 6x plus 5x is minus x, and then minus 10. So then we know we are correct. To our last question. All right. Okay. 5a squared minus 22a plus 8. Okay, so there's a number in front of the letter squared, so we know the second rule applies here. What two numbers multiplied give us 8? Well, there's two possibilities. 2 multiplied by 4 and 8 multiplied by 1. All right, so which one is it? Well, let's look at our signs. There is a minus in the middle, so there are going to be two minuses. If I were to put an 8 here and a 1 here, that would not equal to 22. So let's look at the 2 and 4 here. If I were to put the 2 here and the 4 there, let's just see. Because we are in the 20s, okay? Especially as my goal here is that 5a multiplied by minus 4 is minus 20a. So we're already in the 20s. And then minus 2a, that is just the cherry on top. And there we go, minus 22a. And then we know that this is the answer. And once again, let us verify. So then 5a minus 2 and a minus 4. Okay, so 5a multiplied by a minus 4 and minus 2 multiplied by a minus 4. So then 5a multiplied by a is 5a squared. And 5a multiplied by minus 4 is minus 20a. And then minus 2 multiplied by 8 is minus 2a. And minus 2 multiplied by minus 4 is minus 8. So then 5a squared minus 20a minus 2a is minus 22a. And then you're left with minus 8. So then you know that is right. So that is that. Thank you for watching.